So many of the things that we do are permanent records. All land records, marriage, probate, those types of things are permanent record. And so we go back to the beginning of Rockingham County. We tell a lot of the stories and the social stories as we look into a lot of the old criminal cases and things that we've placed online.
Hi, I'm Carl Weisecker, Principal Broker at Kline Realty. Thank you for joining me for another Kline podcast. Today, my guest is a friend of mine, Chaz Haywood. Chaz is the clerk of the court for Rockingham County. Thank you so much for joining me, Chaz.
Thanks for having me, Carl.
Been looking forward to this, and I think there's two main things I want to talk about. And the first one really is, what do you do? You know, you're in an elected position, and I think I get to know what part of what you do through being in the real estate industry, but I think a lot of our citizens don't really know what your job is and the documents that you're protecting. So how do you see your job? How do you explain that to people?
Generally speaking, it's the keeper of the record. So that could be a local record, like for deeds, marriage licenses, probate matters. The court side of it, we're dealing with the worst of the worst cases. On the criminal side, civil side, all divorces, name changes, concealed handgun permits. There's a lot to that.
Right.
And of course, the best part of that I have to say is my staff.
Yeah.
The deputies I have down there do such an amazing job, and they make my life so good. And I guess I'm in my 19th year. Totally different group from when I started, but
yeah, right.
But daily it's challenging at times. You think you know things, and then you realize you don't. But that's what I think. Why I still love going to work every day. I enjoy it. Because it's, as we've talked before, it's taking care of people.
Yeah.
And what better thing, I feel I've been placed here to care for people.
Right.
And that's what I get to do. So
right.
It's very fulfilling.
Fantastic. I mean, it's such a broad range of responsibility for basically all of the important documents. And going back into history, what's a typical day look like for you?
Well, you mentioned in history, because so many of the things that we do are permanent records. All land records, marriage, probate, those types of things are permanent record. And so we go back to the beginning of Rockingham County. And we just celebrated a few weeks ago Rockingham County's 248th birthday. So 1778, so we have records going back to 1778.
Amazing.
I have records that we've uncovered and restored from great Virginians like Dinwiddie and Gooch and Lord Fauquier, King George II, King George III, those tyrants,
right.
That we no longer answer to. But
right.
Again, we tell a lot of the stories and the social stories as we look into a lot of the old criminal cases and things that we've placed online.
Right.
Which really makes it fun. Since I went to JMU to be a history teacher, I think it worked out better for me. But we still get to take this history and tell the stories of here, and that to me is very rewarding.
Yeah. Are any of those historic documents put on display?
So we do have some of the burnt records from the Civil War. When our records were burned, they're actually in grottos. Is the location of the home that is still standing on 11th. It was the only home in grottos, I think, they were obviously before grottos at the time. But we do have records at a couple different places, Historical Society, Hardesty Higgins House. But really, if you go on my website, we have a link to a partnership we created with James Madison University called Histories Along the Blue Ridge. And we've loaded up millions of images there. So all those cases are free, and they're free to see. When I say free, I feel kind of guilty because taxpayers pay us.
Right.
Taxpayers pay for the technology and everything else to create it.
Right.
So we've used your hopefully people will use their funding to give you back what we can for free.
How would a person get access to that?
Right off my webpage. If you go to my webpage, I don't know how you share those, but under the genealogy section, you have links to all of our historical sections. And there's so many great stories in there.
It's really interesting. Now you're doing some extra work with preservation of historic documents, right?
Some extra work. So that is Histories Along the Blue Ridge. Clerk is meant to keep the record.
Right.
I have a different hat on, and that maybe is a little bit of that history lover part, and that is how much can we put out there for you.
Yeah.
But it's not just the historical, because I often say that today's record is tomorrow's history, because it is. It's that simple, and it's going to be there forever.
Right.
So we have spent a lot of time. We were in one of the earliest offices, thanks to my predecessor, Wayne Harper, one of the earliest offices to really move everything, land records, online, which he did a great job. We've changed companies many times since then, and we're now with Tyler Technologies. But we do try to put as much out there for you, because it's better for you to be you're comfortable searching. Most folks are comfortable. They want to hop on their phone, hop on their computer, and search their record.
Right.
They don't want to have to drive to downtown, try to find a parking place, and come in, and it's the same. It would
Right.
typically be the same cost. Doing it by yourself is good. It also means we would not have to have as much staff because people don't come in as frequently. So that's good for taxpayers as well.
Are you noticing that as technology kind of takes over? You're seeing fewer and fewer in-person visits?
Oh, absolutely. The deed room used to be full of people.
Oh, I used to go down there looking at microfiche.
Book next to book to the microfiche.
Yeah.
And it's all online. Again, millions of documents. They're there just waiting for you to do the research.
Right.
And of course, my staff are still standing by. And we can hop through things much more quickly nowadays. Once we got what we feel is the best system right now. We work with Tyler Technologies out of Texas. They're, I think, the third company that I've worked with, I believe. Sometimes I try to remember how many we've gone through, but we always try to be ahead of everybody else.
Right.
Here in Rockingham County, I think we were definitely some of the first to allow electronic e-recording of documents. So we've worked with multiple companies over the years that would work well with the individual.
Right.
And I'm just really proud of that.
Yeah.
And it works.
Well, we appreciate it.
It works, yeah. Well, because anybody who comes in, I mean, if you're going to do work for a client, you're going to have to charge your client.
Right.
So if you can just get it quickly,
then
you're going to save not just you time, but you're going to save your client money. So it's a pass-through that we're excited to help people.
Right. Now, that leads really well into the second thing I wanted to talk about, and that is the issue of deed fraud. And one of the things that I read has made that so much more prevalent is the fact that there is so much information online. And you combine that with AI and people are able to do some kind of nasty stuff. So for folks who aren't familiar with that, can you explain in layman's terms what deed fraud means and what can happen to someone?
Well, I think most people have seen those TV commercials.
Right.
Because when they start playing, my phone and my email start ringing off the hook. Chaz, what are we doing? How can we get this? And I assure people that probably 99.999% they'll never worry about it. It's a fear-based, and I get it. I mean, people put money into their home because that's the biggest investment most people will ever have in their entire life, and we know that. We also look at land, property. So it's just the idea that somebody could, and maybe it's happened in other states, and there's been some instances that I'll talk about in Virginia, but it's just the idea that somebody can record a document selling your property to somebody else.
Right.
And that has happened with some land in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Honestly, what you'll find more often when there is a problem with a deed or a deed transfer that has been done against the will of the person, more often or not, it's found within family situations. Someone passes, kids move quickly, they weren't authorized, or somebody who's taking care of your mother, your father, your grandmother, and you're not paying attention. Families have to pay attention, I think, when other people are around.
Right.
There's always the surprise of why was grandma's will changed, and now, so again, you have to pay attention. But the code, when I started, pretty much anything could be recorded in the land records. Now, after some legislative changes, probably a decade or more ago, we've limited to specific items that can be recorded, which is great. A deed, a lien, it's just very specific. So it gets rid of a lot of the bad seeds that were out there that were trying to slip things in.
Right.
So the best thing, I think, Carl, that people can do is rely on your nosy neighbors. Because when somebody suddenly sees your piece of property and suddenly there's a for sale sign in front of your house or your land, it's nice to have a neighbor that will pick up the phone and say, I see that you are selling your house. And Carl may be at his Florida home, not that I don't think you have a Florida home, but you may be in your mountain home, your mountain home of West Virginia, but your mountain home, but I'm sure it would be nice to say, well, no, I'm not. Again, nosy neighbors are good when it comes to property. Land parcels, empty lots, have been the main that I've read about issue, because vacant land, they've sat for 15, 20, 25 years just sitting there. And so let's talk about who the victims are in this. I think, Carl, the best thing to remember is that if your property is taken, house or land, you're going to get it back, period. The person who is the perpetrator in this is going to get their money and take off. Person in the middle who bought it thinking it belonged to that perpetrator, they're going to be out.
Yeah.
That's the person that's going to be hurt in all this. If they do something and try to take your land and record a deed because it's a recordable document, we cannot deny a document if it's in proper form being recorded. And we don't know everybody and everybody's name.
Sure.
And so, but again, the person in the middle is going to be the one that's hurt most.
Yeah.
And I've watched realtors online do some great locally, have conversations about people and phone call. They'll really stick together. And I think that's the other part of it from a community side.
Right.
Our realtors locally clearly stick together and have conversations about people who are probably...
Right. There are, hopefully companies are doing some training, and I think statewide there's some additional training going on or coming. And I've read that the state has implemented a notification system.
There's some legislation that has passed. Our land record system being a third-party vendor, we were able to put that in effect probably about 7 or 8 years ago. I chose not to, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. I have some concerns about limitations on it. The state has launched their state system for those local offices who are on the state system.
Okay.
I don't do the state system because our system, we're able to do a lot more for the community public reporting. There's a lot more that our system can do that the state just doesn't do. And that's why you would see the larger courts like ours and others, out of 120, you will see all the larger courts on private vendors, not with the state for a reason. Because we expect more and our communities expect more from it. So I actually did myself go ahead and register. I went into one of the localities that uses the state system, and I was able to put in, allows you to put in the state system up to 10 names that you track and up to 10 parcels with parcel IDs. But the code doesn't say that. The code as just passed states that any person can register their name to be told if your name comes through. My biggest concern, maybe it started because I'm a father of 3 daughters, and my concern is that all these systems that are currently out there let anybody search anybody. You can have somebody who's been convicted of horrible crimes against a woman, put her name in, and find out when she changes her name, find out when she bought another house. I don't think that is the intent or safe for our communities. I think Carl should be able to know if Carl's name is in there. But the systems as they currently are, and I'm working with another vendor to see how we can limit it. But I think Carl should be able to search Carl, and Carl shouldn't be able to look at Chaz.
Search my neighbor.
Because I think, we have, with the cases that we have in the court system, the last thing you want is some of those people being able to track. And again, it's public record. It doesn't mean somebody can't come into the courthouse and look it up themselves. But I don't want to give the convenience to it of an online that anytime something happens, it's just automatically given to that person. I don't think that's right. I don't think, and I would hope that our community understands that. That's why I'm really being careful looking at this. It sounds great and it sounds wonderful. You can go on, you can find out about everything about you that might come in, but it also tells you that everybody else can track and find everything about you as well. And I don't think that's...
Yeah, it would seem like they would build some guardrails into that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's why I'm hesitant on it. But people can still go on my system anytime and search and see what's in their name for free. They can look at my index anytime. We were the first or second in Virginia that offered a free index search. I think we did that about 8 or 9 years ago. And we've always provided a free index search. The state just turned theirs on, I think, last year.
So then a person would just put in their name and your system would show them
everything in their name.
Everything.
Yep, in anybody's name.
Like checking
now,
your,
and if they want to see what the document is, they can pay for that document.
Gotcha.
And we do things a little bit differently as well. Most localities charge $50 a month. We let you do $5 for 15 minutes. So if you just want to get on there, see what it is, get on. That's why do you want to sign up for a month?
Right.
We also offer, I think, a we do a 1 month and then an annual. And I think we're averaging $30 a month. Everybody else charges $50. So we don't overcharge as well. We don't want to take the money, but we want to pay for our system.
Sure.
So that's why we really pay attention to, it's such a great system.
Right.
And it does it for you. And if people ever have, folks, any of your viewers have any questions, they can call the office. We'll walk them through it.
Fantastic.
We're all there to help.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks so much for chatting with me today.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting, and we're looking forward to having you at Kline May.
And please encourage any of your viewers, listeners, whoever they are, to reach out, give us some ideas if they have additional concerns. I want to be aware. I want to be aware. Maybe there's some things we're not thinking about.
Right.
And I appreciate our community for that. It's a great community that works well together.
Right. Well, fantastic. And you heard it. If you have any ideas for Chaz, reach out to him. He would love to talk with you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.